All right, here we go. Testing out our dual action cam. We've got DJI Osmo Action, and we're gonna do some filming with that in here, and hopefully that's gonna alleviate some of my focus issues. I don't know if the audio is gonna be that great. We'll see. We'll still use the Panasonic GH5 in due time when I get I think I need to get a micro four thirds lens for it, because I cannot get the autofocus to work with the crap. It's just always out of focus. So I'd rather have an action cam shot than an out of focus high-end camera. So I'm playing with this thing a little bit here. I'm looking at my camera because I can see myself on the camera, which is pretty cool. The app's pretty awesome. All right, so in this video that we're gonna make here, it's gonna be a short one, hopefully. We're having some problems with the four-wheel drive. This is the Suburban Chronicles. We got the old Suburban up here, and it is an old vehicle. It's a 05. We bought it with 200,000 miles on it, maybe 202, something like that, about 9 months ago. We've put about 17,000 miles on it. So it's at 217. It's a good vehicle. It runs great. But when we first got it, we had a snow day, and I put it in four-wheel drive, and it didn't seem to be engaging. I didn't feel any action out of the front wheels, so we slipped and slid around. We still got where we wanted to go, but and we slung a lot of donuts that day, which was a lot of fun. Slings good donuts in the snow. But I don't like not having my four-wheel drive working. So last night I got it up in the air, and I started playing around with it. I suspended the wheels, and I activated the four-wheel drive. When you activate the four-wheel drive with the buttons, it engages, and it engages four-wheel low, because you can feel the gear ratio change when you put it in, and you can hear it whining just a little bit. So with the front tire suspended and you give it gas, the front tires move. But if you barely touch the brakes, they stop moving. And so you can overpower the four-wheel drive with a light pedal pressure, which is really weird. I'm not sure. Every four-wheel drive I've ever had, when it's engaged, it's engaged. I'm not sure how this auto four-wheel drive transfer case works. So it's got auto. You can select auto four high, or auto four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, four high, or four low. And like I said, it's engaging, and it's shifting into low because it's changing the gear ratio. But it's like it's not diverting the power 100% to the front wheels. Probably not even 5%. And I know in two-wheel or in four-wheel auto, it only kicks in at like over 26 miles an hour or something like that. But in four-wheel low, it should be engaged all the time. But you can go for a drive in four low on the concrete and make tight turns, and it doesn't buck the steering. You know, you don't get that bucking like you get when it's in four-wheel drive, you know, and you start turning the steering wheel around, and it's you know, you can tell when they're in four-wheel drive, especially on the concrete, and it's not. So I'm going to change the fluid in the T case. I went and bought the Auto Track 2 equivalents, the Valvoline versions. Stuff's $11 a quart. It's not cheap. It's full synthetic fluid. I'm going to change the fluid, just see if it helps. And there's a lot of issues that I've read about electronically on these. You've got an actuator on the transfer case that when you push the buttons on the dash to select four-wheel drive, it actuates the four-wheel drive, which it's working. The buttons are working. The front axle actuator is working because it's spinning the front tires when I engage it when it's free spinning, when the tires are, you know, off the ground. So I'm not real sure what's going on. I did read a little bit last night that that actuator on the transmission, like in four high, it kind of has like a clutch system in it, I'm thinking it's not fully engaging the clutch system, the clutch packs or something in the T case. I don't like that kind of setup. I want a four-wheel drive that's engaged when I tell it to engage. So I don't know if there's anything I can do to improve on this situation, but I'm gonna try to change the fluid and see if it helps, because maybe it's just got the wrong fluid in it and it's slipping the clutches or something inside of there. I don't know. But that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give it a shot. We're going to walk over here. And I guess I'll turn you around. I have to look at my ugly mug. We're gonna walk over here, get up under this thing. Probably ought to grab some lights. Let me grab some lights. I think I got something charging over here. I got this one charged up. Grab us a little LED. Need to find me a pen. I don't want to drop it into that big one. I'm gonna have to get a drop pen. Ooh, we're gonna go out in the dark, guys. We're gonna go out next to the shop. You get a little tour. Here's my dually. Butch's golf cart. Caleb's lawnmower. Tractor. No longer a lawnmower, it's just a tractor. That's a future project coming up with a golf cart. That's another future project coming up with a Bandit TA. It's coming up next. So don't forget to tune in for that one. It's going to be a good one. All right, what I'm going to do, we are going to set that down for now. So what we're going to do here is, I'm going to loosen this thing up. We'll take the fill plug out. This thing's got a fill plug at the top, a drain plug at the bottom. I believe this is a 246 T case. Yeah, 246 GM. So every T case I've ever worked on has got a fill plug at the top, drain plug at the bottom. You want to take the fill out first. If you ever have a leaking tail shaft seal in your transmission, sometimes it'll push the transmission fluid into the transfer case, and when you open this plug, it'll all come rushing out at you. So you want to make sure that's not what happened, which I know it's not because I pulled it out last night. And I don't even know why I held that up there, because I knew it wasn't going to do it. Start to drip on me. All right. So I just wanted to kind of catch it. I didn't want to use my big drain bucket, so I'm gonna she's dirty. There's some black fluid. This thing's supposed to only hold 2 quarts. So I bought 3 just in case. I'm gonna set this down on the ground. We're gonna let it drain. I'm gonna let that drip out real good. It's definitely dirty. The original GM fluid, I believe, is blue. The fluid that we purchased is it's a multi-vehicle transfer case fluid, about Valvoline. It's a full synthetic. It's recommended for Ford XL12, GM AutoTrack 2, and many more applications. So we're hoping this will take care of it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna let that drip out and let that drain for a little while I have a nice cold Friday night beverage. And then we're gonna find our little handy dandy pump, and we're gonna pump that fluid from that quart into there and fill this thing back up. Of course, we're gonna put the drain plug back in before we do that. And we'll fill her back up, and then we'll see how that functions afterwards. I really don't have high hopes that this is going to recover, but I do have hope. This is the actuator, and I'm hoping, I mean, I'm assuming that's good. Last night I had it engaged in four-wheel drive. You could not spin this with it turned off. You know, you couldn't spin the front drive shaft, and now it's, of course, it's in two-wheel drive, so you can. So it's engaging. Why it's not applying pressure, I don't know. That's a mystery to me. I'm gonna have to ask somebody with more experience with these transfer cases than I have. I mean, I have a lot of Jeep experience. I have a lot of, you know, Chevrolet experience too, but I've never had to deal with this scenario where it engages, but just doesn't seem to have any power output through the front. It's like it's applying all the output to the back drive shaft, although the front one's engaged. It's not putting any power through it, like it's slipping clutch. So I'm assuming this nasty fluid is the culprit. We'll find out. We will find out. I'll give you another peek at this Trans Am. This is an old friend of mine's Trans Am. Buddy of mine, his name's Bud. He bought this car. It's dirty right now. It's been sitting. We pulled the motor out of this thing, sent it to Jasper Engines and Transmissions, the original engine, had them rebuild it. When it got back to me, I stuffed a gigantic camshaft in it. Probably a little too big. We put headers on it, had the transmission rebuilt, turbo 350 with a stall converter. It's got like a 10-inch TCI Street Fighter in it, I believe. Put I think a 373 gear in it. I can't remember what gear, but we put a gear in it. Put exhaust on it, put a fuel system on it. We're having problems with it vapor locking. So we ended up putting a lot of heat protection over the steel braid. This thing's got a nice little fuel system on it. It just has a stock tank in it though. I wish we could have gone with a new style tank with a better, like an in-tank pump setup or something, but I don't know. We may this thing's having some issues, so it'll be coming on up. I'm not going to tell you what's going on with it yet, but we're gonna leave that at that. I want y'all to come back and watch. So stay tuned on this one. It's going to be a good one. This is a tire fryer right here. This is a fun little car to drive. Sounds good, looks good. It's in really good shape. It's you couldn't ask for a much better TA for a driver, especially. But it's been sitting in storage in his garage for a while. He hadn't got it out in a few years, and we're gonna get it going again. And we're gonna get this thing slinging donuts and doing big, long, smoky burnouts again. So it's gonna be fun. I can't wait. This car is fun to drive, and I'm excited. I haven't had a chance to drive a car like this in a while. I've sold all my toys off, and I am chomping at the bit to get back at it. So we're getting these hot rods going again. Hot Rod Dave TV is about to be in full force. All right, we're gonna let this thing drip out, and we'll get back to you. And we'll put some fluid in here and show you how I pump this fluid in. and we'll go from there. Okie dokie, we are back at it. Let this thing drip for a while. We're gonna spin it around. We'll set you guys back over right about here. We'll angle you over there, maybe. How about that? All right, so we're gonna put the drain plug back in. That's the fill. This was the drain. Let's wipe that booger off. It's got a booger on it. All right, clean the drain plug. She's still dripping a little bit. 11 bucks a quart. I'm not gonna flush it right now. I'm gonna see if it improves any. It seems like it's improving it and it's trying to activate some good pressure to the front. Then I may change it again. But I only have 3 quarts and it's supposed to hold 2. We're about to find out. I always like to have an extra quart at least. Sometimes you need an extra 2 or 3 because sometimes it'll tell you the wrong amount to fill. But anyway, we're gonna take us a quart. We're gonna crack the top on it. We're gonna set her like that. We got us a little handy dandy transfer hand pump. A couple hoses which I just cleaned out. We're gonna stick one hose up over the cross member in the hole as far as we can. These little pumps are great, but man, this is a messy way to do things sometimes. But you can't pour into that transfer case. You can't funnel it in. So you have no choice sometimes, but to hand pump stuff in like this, it can get messy. Especially if you knock the cord over or something. This is a lot better if you have a buddy helping you. But I don't have any buddies, so I'm not gonna just do it myself. I think I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, I am. So what I'll do, I'll just switch my hoses on the pump. I don't know if you can go the wrong way. It's still like it's wanting to pump into the. What's it doing? Still acting like it's wanting to pump into the. Did I do that right? I may have not switched them. Did I just unplug them and plug them right back up the same line? I don't know. Let's find out. There we go. Alright. She's slowly pumping in. Let me turn this cord this way. You can watch this line go down. Watch that. This line will go down. And she wants to pump in. $11 a quart. Man, that's some high dollar fluid. But this is a good way to you don't want to dance around. I'll be flipping over on me. Drop it. Alright, I think that's all we're going to get out of that one. Dangle down. That dangle down, dirt diggler, or whatever his name was. Dirt dangler. Need about 4 hands, maybe 5. Well, I'm just going to use 2. strange noises going on. Owls are going nuts out there. I don't know if the audio is going to pick that up. Man, we got some owls out here outside the shop. It makes some wild noises. Thing sort of a vacuum on the bottom of the quart jug. Sucked itself closed. At least we know the pump's good. Now we're just going to pump this thing up until we're just going to fill it up till it runs out the top, like filling a rear end housing. Oh, son of a, just painted my leg. That's what I'm talking about. That's why you need extra hands. It gets messy. This thing wants to spin around, act all crazy. Damn, man. Now we got a mess to clean up. It's got well, this is basically transmission fluid right on my brand new tennis shoes. Shouldn't wear good shoes in the shop, David. Yeah, I know. I know. I've been doing this my whole life. I should know better. She's taking it. I think she's starting to come out now. She's starting to drip out. I'm gonna go ahead and run this. Yeah, I'll stop there. I'll stop. Got just a little bit left in that quart. Maybe an eighth of it. Like I said, this is a messy job. It is a messy job. You gotta be, and that's what you call an overfill. Good thing I got a drain pan there, right? Making a mess, let me tell you. I have definitely painted the floor tonight. Okay, so the 2 quarts, probably a true statement. That's probably the correct fill. We're gonna go ahead and cap it. It's okay if there's just a little bit much in it. This thing's got a tiny little leak at that actuator anyway, and a little one at the rear tail housing, so I didn't want to fix any of that stuff yet. If this thing's not gonna function, I gotta put a transfer case in or take this one out and rebuild it, which I've built transfer cases before, but like in a Jeep, like a 231 or 241 or whatever they are, 231s I think. which are simple, but they don't have a bunch of crazy automatic actuators and clutches and weird stuff. Let me show you how I tattooed this floor. Those hoses went to swinging around. Got my foot a little bit, not too bad. Got my shoe right there. It was up my leg, but I wiped it off. But that's what you got to be prepared for. So I had that pan there, but I did paint. I have to get the mop out. I have to get the mop out. We're gonna take a little brake clean. Brake clean, mechanic's best friend. I'm gonna clean the tail shaft off. I'm gonna kind of monitor, see how bad that joker's really leaking. I don't think it's leaking bad. We'll spray this actuator off. A good little skip. Oops. That's $2. That'll cost you $2. Alright. It's got a good little skid plate on it. It's got a good skid plate up front. I mean, this is a Z71. I don't know if that comes in all of them. It's a pretty good little setup. I just wish it didn't have the automatic clutch crap in the transfer case, man. Make it manly where you engage the transfer case. It freaking engages. I got a little bit left over in these jugs. I'm gonna fill up this one with it. It's $11 fluid. Is there any in that one? There's a splash in there. Let's see if we can get that splash out. Alright, we'll keep these leftover fluids for the next time I change it. Or replace it, whatever it is. We're either going to replace it or we're going to change it. Again, I have a bad feeling we'll end up taking this thing out. I don't know, have to rebuild it, I guess, probably. We'll see. Alright, just kind of give her a little wipe down. See, that skid plate's probably full of oil and brake clean. Let's get that out of there. You don't want to get false readings with that old nasty stuff caught up in there. Alright. Okay, let's see. I think I'm gonna clean up some fluid here on the floor. Here's the fluid. It's pretty dirty. I don't see any metal, shiny, nothing really metally, just clutch material and fluid probably. I mean, that pan was nasty already, but it didn't have any, no metal in it or anything. A little bit of water that's floating in it. It's because it was sitting outside. Had a board over it to keep the water out, but still gets a little in. All right, we're gonna clean up my mess here and take it for a test drive, see what it does. All right, let's see a little Osmo action. Hopefully is working good. What do with my phone? Phone's controlling this joker. There it is. All right, gonna turn it off. Okay, so got the fluid changed. All right, we've got some fans running in here, so if the audio is bad, I apologize. Got the fluid changed, cycled the gear selector for the transfer case from 2 high to 4 high to 4 low to, you know, back and forth, four-wheel drive auto, all that. You can hear it. You can hear it engaging. You can drive it, and you can feel it going into 4 low for sure. I mean, you know, when the gear ratio changes and it gets real low, I can pull it back up on the alignment rack with barely even touching the gas in 4 low. It's not the lowest transfer case I've ever had. I mean, it's not like my Dodge, my 3500 dually. I mean, when you put it in 4 low, it'll freaking pull this building over. But I mean, the Suburban, it's pretty geared for, you know, highway soccer mom crap. It's even though being a Z71, it's a, I mean, it'll get up and go. It's a decent vehicle. It's a great vehicle. I think Suburbans are some of the best vehicles on the planet, in my opinion. I mean, they do so much. They can haul the whole family. They can pull a boat. They can pull a dump trailer. I mean, they do all kinds of stuff. They're great vehicles. I just love that you can fit so much stuff in them. I mean, I had an old one. I had an 86 when I first got married, and we'd get a Windrock, go ride 4-wheelers, and I'd pull my little 5x13 trailer with a 4-wheeler and the firewood and all my coolers and crap on it for the weekend, and I'd put an air mattress in the back. Didn't have the 3rd row in it. Didn't need it at the time. Didn't have a family. Caroline was just born, which is my oldest daughter. She's 15. So I would throw a single air mattress, you know, single bed style air mattress in the back, sleep back there all weekend, and it was great. They're just utilitarian vehicles, and they're wonderful, I think. So we just bought this one, you know, about 9 months ago. But 4-wheel drive's just goofy. I'm not understanding it. Maybe one of you guys out there knows more about this than I do. I'm going to do further research, and I'm going to follow up on this video because, like I said, it's engaging. It's dropping in 4 low, which is bringing my gear ratio down. I can feel it. I can hear it. You can hear the kind of straight cut gear noise when you put it in 4 low that you get, you know, when you put one in 4 low. But I just don't feel any bind in the steering when you turn lock to lock. Like in 4 low, usually when you cut the wheel all the way and you're making a turn on asphalt, it's going to be bucking and acting crazy a little bit. You know, it's not meant to be run on the asphalt. It's meant to be in the dirt. You don't need 4-wheel drive on asphalt. So anyway, it just doesn't seem to be working. But hey, I'm going to Florida tomorrow. I'm going in the sand. We're going to figure it out. I'm not trying to go get stuck, but I think we're going to figure this thing out. And I read a little bit in All That on it last night, and it was saying, like in 4 high, it activates it above. There's a sensor when the back wheels get to spinning at a certain speed, then the front wheels kick in. And I kind of noticed that on the rack last night when I was free spinning it up in the air, but I could barely touch the brake and just barely apply the brake, and it would stop the front wheels. I don't know, I'm puzzled by it. I guess I just don't like this style of transfer case. We had an all-wheel drive Pontiac Montana van. It was a 06, I believe. It was a 06. My wife actually, her best friend at the time's mom won it. She won 2 of them and gave us one. Awesome. It was great. It was like a godsend. I wasn't making much money. We had a child on the way. The friend's mom won 2 of them on the Regis and Kelly show and had to give one away to a non-family member. That was, and the taxes were paid on and everything. It was great. We needed it. My wife had a little 2-door Pontiac Grand Am at the time, which was a nice car. It was like new, but we needed we didn't want a minivan. I hate minivans. I've worked on a million of them as a mechanic in my life, and we vowed when we got married not to own a minivan. That was one of my rules. Is like, I don't want a minivan. If we're going to, get a family vehicle, it's going to be a Tahoe or Yukon or Suburban or Toyota Sequoia or something like that. Some 4Runner. I had a 4Runner at first when we got married. Just wasn't big enough. But anyway, the Pontiac, what I'm getting at is the Pontiac Montana was all-wheel drive. But the all-wheel drive didn't kick in until like 20 miles an hour or something, which makes no damn sense. Because we had an ice storm, and we live in Georgia, and we don't have a whole lot of tough winters, but when we do, we have a lot of hills. We're in the foothills of the Appalachian Blue Ridge Mountains. So when you don't realize how hilly it is until the roads get it covered in a sheet of ice. So anyway, we had an ice event in front of my house, not this house, the old house we had before this. Not much of an incline. The damn thing got stuck in front of the house. It took me like 20 minutes to pull in the driveway on a little sheet of ice that was in front of the house. It's all-wheel drive. I don't think it's on like a front-wheel drive platform. I don't think the rears ever kicked in. It's useless. Why build a 4-wheel drive system that doesn't engage when you want it to? Because it's not going to engage when you need it to. It's going to engage at over 20-something miles an hour, 26 miles an hour, or something stupid like that. You don't need it if you're going that fast. You need it going slow, maneuvering through slick and slimy stuff. Icy, muddy, wet terrains. It's absolutely ridiculous 4-wheel drive system. I'm going to give it 2 thumbs down for GM on that kind of 4-wheel drive system, and whoever else has one like that. We traded that Pontiac in on a Subaru Forester all-wheel drive turbo. That's a great little car. That little thing will freaking go through anything. It's just too small for our family, so we sold it and bought the Suburban. I didn't want to go buy a $90,000 new Suburban or Tahoe or Yukon or whatever. It's just too expensive. So hell, I spent $5,000 on this thing. And it's got a lot of miles on it. I'm going to work on it, but I'm a mechanic, so I've got a full tilt buggy shop basically here. I can fix it. If something goes wrong, I can fix it. And I can video it and show you guys. But I just don't like this kick-in 4-wheel drive whenever you feel like it. So I don't know if that's how this system is. I had a 2002 3/4 ton Silverado before, years ago, that I bought new, and it had this same style 4-wheel drive in it. I thought, and I don't remember having these kind of issues with it, but I may never have had to use it. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. Anyway, this is going to wrap up this video. There will be a follow-up video to this when we find out in Florida, in the sand, because it's late now. It's like 11 o'clock at night here. But I'm going to Florida in the morning with the family. We're going to do a little fishing, do a little beach adventures. We can drive on the beach where we're going. So hopefully I don't get stuck because of this shit. Hopefully this 4-wheel drive system, we can figure it out. But I don't know. May have to get a different transfer case with a stick coming through the floor, where I can just, when I pull it 4-wheel drive, it's in 4-wheel drive. I mean, that's basically what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, hell, I may even sell this one and just buy like a 3/4 ton setup that has a manual transfer case where I know what's going on, and not have to rely on this electronic push button stuff. I'm really thinking about selling all my electronic shift type vehicles. This one, I got a 17 Ram 3500, which I love, but all those bells and whistles are going to start failing, and they're going to fail when you need them the most. So I think I'm going to start going old school again. Old school cars, manual shift stuff. I mean, I might have an automatic transmission, but I don't know. I just technology is awesome, but the more technology you wrap up in a vehicle, the more failures you have, and then people get fed up with the vehicle, and it gets so expensive and so time consuming to fix, they just junk them. I mean, there's cars from the 60s and 70s and beyond that are still great, reliable vehicles out on the road, and I'm really starting to think about going back that route. When I was a kid, I drove, old cars from the 70s, and never had issues like this with that kind of stuff. Really didn't have the bells and whistles that these cars have, but I don't know. Struggling with technology on these vehicles, and I'm, educated to repair them. I got to get more educated on this 4-wheel drive system, and we'll get back to you. If you like this content, please give my channel, give my videos a like, give the subscription button a push, hit the bell. You'll get more content from old Hot Rod Dave. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.